What if Jacob sees heaven open and then immediately walks into a family where everybody is trying to force only what God can give? Day 10 of reading the Bible chronologically was Genesis chapter 28, verse 10 through Genesis chapter 30, all the way to 24. Jacob begins this reading running away. His brother Esau wants him dead. He has left Beersheba, left his family, and the man who supposedly carries Abraham's blessing is sleeping outside with a stone near his head. Then he dreams. Genesis describes something like a ladder or stairway sets on the earth reaching towards heaven, with angels of God ascending and descending, and God stands above it, the famous Jacob's ladder. Then God tells Jacob, I am with you and will keep you wherever you go. I will not leave you until I have done what I have spoken to you. That line matters after everything Jacob just did. Yesterday, Jacob acted like God's promise needed deception. Now God basically tells him, I never lost control of the promise. Jacob wakes up terrified and says, surely the Lord is in this place, and I did not know it. He calls it Bethel, which means house of God. Then Jacob makes a vow, and I'm still not completely sure how to read his language, because God says, I will. Jacob responds with, if God will be with me. Maybe he's bargaining, maybe he's still learning to trust what God just promised. Either way, when he reaches Haran, he finds a well, meets Rachel, and Genesis tells us something very directly. Rachel is a shepherdess. She is working for her father's flock. Jacob rolls a stone from the well, waters her sheep, and discovers she is family. Eventually meets Laban, then Jacob falls in love with Rachel. He agrees to work 7 years to marry her. Then the wedding happens. Morning comes, scripture basically says, behold, it was Leah who he slept with. It wasn't Rachel. He got ripped off. Jacob has been deceived. And Laban gives him perhaps the most ironic explanation possible. It must not be done so in our country, to give the younger before the firstborn. Jacob, the younger brother who just displaced the firstborn, has now been trapped by someone invoking the rights of the firstborn. The deceiver gets deceived. Jacob eventually receives Rachel too, a week later, and works another 7 years. So the man who wanted one woman now has 2 sisters as wives. Can you imagine that? It's a headache. Jacob loves Rachel more. Leah knows it, and scripture says, when the Lord saw that Leah was unloved, he opened her womb. Then Leah starts having sons, and their names almost read like her diary. First one, Reuben. Maybe now my husband will love me. Simeon. God heard that I am unloved. Oh, Levi. Maybe now my husband will become attached to me. Can you imagine being named after that? Oh, and then Rachel sees Leah having children while she remains barren, and jealousy takes over. She gives her servant Bilhah to Jacob, so children can be produced through her. And I immediately thought, Hagar. Then Leah eventually gives her servant, her slave, as a wife to him as well, Zilpah. And Genesis never records Bilhah or Zilpah being asked what they want. Then rivalry gets worse. Rachel and Leah begin negotiating over mandrakes. These plants are associated with fertility. And Rachel literally trades Leah a night with Jacob for them. And Leah goes out and tells Jacob, I have surely hired you with my son's mandrakes. Think about that. Jacob once traded Esau's birthright over stew. Now Jacob himself is being traded over plants. Oh man, I don't know if you know how crazy this is. Everybody is trying to control something. Everybody is grasping. And yet Genesis keeps saying, God saw Leah, God heard her. And eventually God remembered Rachel and opened her womb. Then Joseph is born. So week 2's question remains, can human beings trust God enough to stop grasping? Apparently, we're still learning. Because at Bethel, God comes down to Jacob. But in Haran, everybody keeps trying to climb by themselves. And maybe we finally stop grasping when we believe the first thing God told Jacob, I am